Welcome to Trading Lounge and the S&P 500 for the 6th of December, starting with the 4-hour chart here. A few things to point out here. As you're aware, the current move down through here is in 3 waves, so it definitely makes all of this here, whatever happens, as a corrective wave, and eventually we'll be taking out new highs here. So the point is now to work out what type of correction that we're in here. Because we've got 3 waves here, first of all, it's possible that this wave 4 here can just go over here. So an A and a B and a C for wave 4, and then we can look at this as wave 1 here, wave 2 here, wave 3 coming to the tops here, wave 4 and wave 5 moving higher here. So that's a real possibility. Okay, so that's one thing that we can't rule out, and we'll need a strategy to trade long on that. The second thing that we need to understand here too is that because we've got 3 waves down here, that means that we're either in a triangle pattern, double zigzag, a flat correction, and so on. So I obviously would looked at the triangle pattern here yesterday as well. So this would be the A wave here, the B wave here, C wave here, D wave here, E wave here, and then completing wave 4 and then wave 5 to the upside. So that's possible. A flat correction is normally just flat, so flat within this particular space here, okay, and it's just a regular flat. So it's an A wave here, an A and a B and a C wave that can come up to the previous highs here in 3 waves, and then have a 5-wave structure come into play here as well, and then move up here. But I also think too that the footprint or the fingerprint of the market in its previous moves up, all of the wave 4s, just looking at these last 2 here, but ones further down as well, they've all been rather small and they haven't pulled back to the wave 4s of 1 lesser degrees. So it's possible that this is not going to pull down, because remember the 38.2% retracement level is down at 30-40 area here. So, the history of these is showing that it's not the case. So it is possible that this wave 4 is in place here, and we've got this as wave 1 and wave 2 here. So yeah, so either way, there's still a lot of complications in here to flush out. So let's go in and have a little look. So on the 1-hour chart here, just looking, one thing that it looks like here is that we've got 5 waves up here. So the 1 and the 2 here, the 3 here, the 4 here, and the 5 here. And then we'd be looking for an A wave, a B wave, and a C wave. So if we got this 3-wave structure in here, then we would get 5 waves here. So in both cases, in this, which is good, in both cases here, be it wave A here or wave 1 or B or 2 here, we will see another move up here. So that we'll be able to trade long from that point. We would need to see that move out from that point here anyway. So if I put that on the top here, and that wave B comes in and pulls down into wave C here, and we'll look at that in a tick chart in a moment. Then we can go along from the breach of that, a bit like this here, an A and a B and a C here, and just drawing a line across here, or taking the B wave high out here, and so on. Sure, we can get a better entry down through here, and if the market did pull down, say an A wave here, B wave here, and a C wave here, and it dropped below the 3,100 here, then we could go along from that point. And the way to do that is, if I could just use it over here where it's clear here, so we would look down as an A and a B and a C wave popping down here. So then when it came back up here, it would have the arrival, the reaction, the first high above the level, then a little ABC pattern here. In one way or another, it would leave us with some highs here. So then we can go along from that point. So you can get much closer in through here. on this. If you're good enough to count the 5 waves down here, you could buy right on the low if you wanted to, at least get a small position in that particular case, because we've got 5 waves here. We'll get that another 5 here, so we can sort of bank on that, but don't overload right on the low, because that's just, you know, without any evidence of a move up. You've only got half a bucket of evidence, so we need more. And having support is just such a simple thing, such a nice thing to work with. So yeah, there is in counting this up through here, I just want to check why I'm here actually. It's dropped a bit lower there, but I mean, I was just sort of thinking, you know, that this particular pattern up here, if I've counted it wrong somehow, and this here is, say, 1 and 2 here, and then 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 5 here. So all of this just the 3rd wave, a 4th wave here, and then a 5th wave making a new high here. And the reason I say that for is because I know Australia is just a sort of, you know, sort of such a small market in that case, but here we've got a very, you know, we've got the same low here, and we've got wave 1 here and wave 2 here, and then all of this is wave 3 here and wave 4 pulling back here, and then wave 5 up here. So it's a little bit left field, but it is possible. So just to point out that if you do see the market go above this particular 3120 area here, you know, significantly, like sort of making a thing here, then we're going to get that ABC pattern coming back in here, just to let you know where that is, you know. Just thought I'd throw that in. On the tick chart here, this is how I've counted it to the upside. So it looks okay so far. So 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 5 for 1 and 2 here, then 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 5 here for the 3rd wave, ABC for the 4th wave here. Problem with this, because it overlaps this one here, so that's something. And then I've labeled this up here as 1 and 2 here, and then 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 5 for the 3rd wave. So a nice strong 3rd of the 3rd, so that's kind of okay. Wave 4 here also touches back over here, and then 5 waves up here for wave 5. So looking for this as an A and a B and a C, and we'll look at that in a moment. But you know, when I look at this back to the Australian one here, looking at all of this here as the 3rd wave here, and I've pulled this apart, so I'm happy with this. So if I've made a mistake in this whole structure here, then it would be that this is not wave 1 here. This is still 1 and 2 in here, and 3 here, and 4 here, and 5 up here. So a different scenario where we have 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 5 here for the 3rd wave, and this being the 4th wave here, and then moving up higher at that point. So this morning I was tracking this up here as wave A and wave B here, and then 1 and 2 here, and then the 3rd wave moving up here. I was looking for a 4th wave here. This sharp move, I don't know where that came from and what news or figures or whatever came out. So it does chuck a bit of a spanner in the works, but still, I think that we could just put that wave 4 here and still continue to look for wave 5 here in this as wave B. Now, I do need to point out, from that low here to the high to the low here, this box is the 50-60% retracement level here, and we're traveling above that at the moment. So it's not, you know, it could move to the next Fibbo number, and that's fine. But what we could say is that I have to draw on this side of the price. I can't draw on this side of a tick chart, but if this level here became the support, so if this market came up here and reacted here, which it would anyway, being negative or positive, if it reacted in 3 waves and then found its way above that, then you know it's bullish at that point. So once you know that it's bullish at that point, that should roll back over from the highs here roughly, and have some type of retesting the demand here, and then moving up through here. So you'll have this second high here, and you may be able to get in a little bit here, and that will take you up higher here. We'd need to look at this as wave 4 here. So, but also remember too that if we do get up here, then we're going to come back and have an ABC across this level here as well. So a bit of a tricky situation, as I've mentioned before, if that's wave 4 here. Yeah, so that's about it, really. I suppose we could also go short below the 310 here, but you know, the length of the A wave here should equal the length of the B, so it may not pull all the way down here. It just might bounce, you know, off the 3-1 here and then move up from that point. The other thing too is that Friday is normally the bullish day in a bullish market, so you know, we need to, if you see it being bullish, then that's likely to follow through on the Monday, so it's good to go with that. Let's have a quick look at the Nasdaq as well while we're here. So this is just counted 1 degree lower, but from the low here, that's what we're sort of interested in with this. In this case here, I've counted at 1 and 2 here, and then I've counted at 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 here and 5 here, probably 5 to this one here, an A and a B and a C here for wave 4, and then moving up in 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 5 here. So it's a little bit clearer here that we've got 5 waves here for this. Once again, we need to look at the this here. This has done the same thing as well here, a bit of a spanner in the works, but it reacted at the 61.8% retracement level here from this high to this low here. So we're still looking at this in terms of an A wave, a B wave, and a C wave down, well, close to the 82.50, if not a little bit lower into the 82.30, but that's a long way down from that point. Normally wave A and wave C can have some sort of equality, so just be mindful about that. But yeah, so you know, if from this high here, wherever that wave C high comes in, you can just draw a line across there, and that can be your trigger to go long from that point at that stage. But otherwise, you can see the 5 waves here. So if we get 5 waves here, then you can look to buy into this space here, get a small position here, build up on top of the 72 here, build up on top of the 83 here, the top of group 1, and we'll push higher from that point. So that's where we'll go long there for that. Yeah. Alrighty, thanks for tuning in. Cheers.